He's got a robe that He'll put on your back. In other words, He'll accept you just the way you come back. Amen? He's got a ring that He'll put on your finger to let you understand that He'll put you back in a place of authority. See, there's many people in church that used to have authority in the church. And I'm not talking about running the church. I'm talking about they were teachers or deacons or had a place of position in the church. But they went back out into the pig pen. And the Father wants you to know, hey, I've got a ring waiting on you when you get here. And then He said, I'm going to put shoes on your feet because you're not a servant, you're a son. And He said, and we're going to get the fatted calf. And we're going to kill it. And we're going to eat, drink, and be merry because my son was dead and now he's alive. He was gone, but now he's come back. And we're going to be happy about it. And He said, hey, go get all the servants. Go get everybody you know because we're going to have a party. Listen, church, that's the way we need to be when the son comes back or the daughter comes back. We need to welcome them with open arms and say, listen, I know you might have been gone, but God accepts you. God's going to put you back in a place of authority. God's going to put shoes on your feet. You now have access. And so I'm going to love you. I'm going to accept you. I'm going to respect you. You're not a servant. You're a son. Because if we're not careful, we'll get the older son syndrome. Because see, it is a great thing when a son or daughter comes back to the house of God. Amen. But if we're not careful, we'll get that older son syndrome. Why are they getting all the attention? You mean they've been out there in the world doing whatever, ain't been in church 6 months, and all of a sudden they come back and get down and pray and cry a little bit and says they're getting their heart back right with God, then I'm supposed to just fall at their feet? You don't think people say that in the church? They act just like that in the church. And the father went out to the son. The son didn't even want to come to the party. The older son. And he said, hey, your son is back, and hey, you killed a fatty cow. Him, you ain't never done nothing for me. You won't even give me a goat to kill one with. And you know what? That's the way people get in the church. What's the big deal? I've been here serving 6 years, 10 years, 20 years, 40 years. Nobody's ever made a big deal about me coming every week. But the father went out to him too. And he said, son, you know that all that I have is yours. What happened to the older son is he started acting like one of the servants instead of a son. Father says, hey, you've always been here. You've always had all that I have. But this is your brother. He's been gone and now he's come back. And we need to be happy. You know what keeps more people from coming back to the Father's house? The older son. Yeah. You know, it's hard enough for people to come to themselves and make up their mind, I'm going to get my life back right with God. That's hard to do. But it's even more difficult when they know that all they're going to get is rejection when they come into the house of God. When they know people's going to look at them and think, well, look at them. They ain't been in church in a year. And now all of a sudden they're coming in and everybody's supposed to make a big deal about it. So what? You know what you need to do? You need to be getting down there beside them at that altar and crying with them. You need to get into a part of the party, because I guarantee you heaven's a shouting when one comes back. Amen? And I guarantee you God's having a good time, because He said, hey, my son's gone, but now he's back. He was dead and now he's back alive. In other words, he was dead spiritually, but now he's back alive spiritually. And I'm happy about it. And you know what? You should be happy about it too. I'm glad there's a few things the Father has waiting for us when we come back to the Father's house. Get a robe. Put it on Him. Let's all stand this morning. I'm going to ask the lady that plays the piano if you'll just come up and just play something.